I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Unlocked and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner, is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner, is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
Rip'n Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rip'n Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Coming to you from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness. This is the Darkwolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and we are broadcasting live from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness of Tennessee. That's right. We're ripping through the electromagnetic soup. We're tearing through the atmosphere. and we're tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show, 4th Wednesday. Haha, almost said the wrong day. August the 10th, 2022. That's right, folks. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Folks, tonight we have a really, really deep rabbit hole to dive down as we look into the Wisconsin primaries last night and the strangeness that occurred as we watched the election results come in. Very, very interesting topic. I cannot wait to get down deep into this dive with you folks, and we'll get through it together. But first, let's go ahead and see who all we have over here in our YouTube chat room, both on the Rippin' Rabbit Hole as well as the Darkwolf's Den Show radio channel. How are you guys doing tonight? Great to see everyone tonight over here. Like Joe's, great to see you as always. Joe's games people play. He says, what's up, games people play. Glad to see you, my friend. Medic 5310 says, God bless America. Salute to you, sir. God bless America indeed. Would you not agree? Yvette DeFrank, glad to see you in the house also. Dropping that link there, Games People Play, is of the Wonderland by Michael Musco and Chick. That is, of course, our theme song. If you enjoy that, do check out Chick Mandela Effect or Michael Musco's YouTube channels. Michael Musco does a lot of incredible music, as a matter of fact. We're going to do things a little different tonight, folks. Also, over in the Darkwolf's Den Show, JoJo waving in with a hello. You can join us on either channel over here, or you can join us backstage on the rippinrabbithole.com, RIPONRABBITHOLE.com, where we will be interacting live later with the audience over there. So if you want to have your voice heard, most definitely come on over there and join us. I'm sure the mods will very quickly be dropping the links to the chat room over in the chat. Once again, it is so good to see everybody tonight. We've got a very, very deep rabbit hole to explore, folks. A rabbit hole that started a couple days ago. We are going to get into all that here shortly, but I'm really, really excited tonight, folks. Everybody listening everywhere, it's going to be incredible. That I can assure you. And whether you are listening on YouTube or around the world on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network, where I would advise you to be listening, or of course on our replay on BitChute or Rumble, we are so glad to have every last one of you guys along for the ride. That's right, and again, a wild ride we will take tonight. I am going to do things a little bit different tonight, folks. I am not going to do the Today in History and the quote of the day, as we really have run out of time to be able to do those today. I wasn't able to do my research, I'll be honest, as we've been dealing with a lot of extra information we are going to get into now. Check this out. So as we all know, Timothy Michaels won the governor Republican nod of the primary in Wisconsin last night. Apparently, a lot of voters liked Timothy Michaels, and I mean a lot. Strange how that works. A lot indeed. I would definitely look into that. But Michaels was a Trump pick. However, when the rally occurred the other day, he said some things. He said some very interesting things, and it gave me and the team the idea to look deeper into things that he said about Mr. Michaels. And it's funny what the Wayback Machine has discovered. But before we do get into that, I would like to play for you guys a video that I found from our good friend Brock Maddox over at the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin, someone we may hear from later this evening.
to investors, wiping out stock values, and hurting thousands of employees and investors with their greed.
Maybe Tim Michaels is not the candidate that I thought he was, or the candidate that we've been led to believe that he is. But who's leading us to believe that? It all starts back in 2004, when Tim Michaels ran for Senate. Several well-produced commercials appeared that included bizarre domain names, many of which you're unable to find today, unless you use the Wayback Machine, which begins to tell a different stories of Mr. Michaels and the people he was connected to. Here we see a doorway campaign page. The archive connects us to the U.S. Senate campaign portal, which was powered by campaignoffice.com. Searching further through the archive, we learned very quickly that campaignoffice.com was a one-stop shop for your campaign office needs. Listed under their feature.
So I'm going to go ahead and interject right here. I actually went and looked myself at campaignoffice.com. And let me tell you guys, if you want to be a rock star in the political world, this was your one-stop shop in 2004 to get all of your needs covered. They made real websites. They helped raise funds for your campaign, communicated with your voters, would recruit and mobilize your army of volunteers, give voters the substance they seek, maximize media and message, and get out the vote for you. Now, as you dig deeper, here's some of the things you can also get included in their package. Unlimited content sections and subsections, dynamically generated with multiple layouts, customizable page displays, so this is all internet right here, automated image sizing systems, security and permission systems allowing for multiple users, audio, video upload and display systems. This is where it gets interesting. We'll come back to that in a moment. Automated schedule to highlight current events, contact directory section, volunteer recruitment and mobilization system. Broadcast email system for communicating with donors, as we see even today. Email updates or newsletter signups. Secure online credit card contributions. Online polling and surveys. Password protected members only section. Keyword searches and email accounts of your domain. So they offered everything you would need to start your campaign, folks, and I'm sure at a very low price indeed. As a matter of fact, they've had some winners come out of their work. Some real winners indeed. If I can find that video again and go back to that.
Sites. It proudly displayed the work that they've done for Andrew Cuomo, candidate for governor of New York, then.
Now, Andrew Cuomo, we know he did an incredible job as governor of New York. Of course, we all know he did a very bang-up job indeed.
Barack Obama, Senate candidate from Illinois.
Wow, Barack Obama made it all the way to the White House. Started out using campaignoffice.com. How interesting.
When we view their advisory board, it shows a mix of...
As well as Rod Blagojevich, Byron Dorgan, Norm Coleman, if you recognize these names, Betty McCollum, Frank Piganelli, and Earl Pomeroy. Piganelli, I'm just saying.
Republicans and Democrats. But most of the Republicans listed on campaignoffice.com in 2004 ultimately turned out to be rhinos and turncoats. Not just on the advisory board, but from their featured client list of candidates.
I would like to note that Tim Michaels, let me make sure I want to make sure my mic was on, sorry, that Tim Michaels was also one of these featured candidates.
People with deep connections well within the Democratic Party. To people like the Clintons, Cheneys, Romney, and Barack Obama himself.
You can all make your own judgment on that, but I know when I hear names like that, it never gives me a smile. I don't know about you guys. those type of names, Cheneys, Obamas, Clintons, they kind of sent a chill down my back. At least that's my opinion, right?
And while some of these senators became leaders of the free world, Timothy Michaels quietly slipped into corporate America, running corporations internationally in a variety of industries, from oil, gas, water, construction, energy, and roads, that has built a multi-million-dollar empire for him and his family.
Now, you remember during the rally the other day, he mentioned that the person who was putting on the rally, let's leave it at that for now, as we know the platforms that are listening. Anyway, he mentioned that the only thing that he spoke with Michaels about was construction, not politics. He really didn't know his politics. That's kind of scary.
So ask yourself before you vote, how much do you really know about Timothy Michaels? Please make sure to share this video.
So that was put out just a couple days ago. If you would like the link to that, I'm sure that can be dropped over here in our chat room here real quick. Let me copy and paste it personally. It is good to see you, Sandy B, also over here in the chat room tonight. I need to pull up both chat rooms here. I do apologize. As well as Calamity Jane's Adventure. Good to see you here also. But this leads down yet a deeper rabbit hole. You see, this was campaignoffice.com was actually connected underground. I do believe they were connected, but I can't find the document right here, right in front of me, but it connects over to a Princeton University study, folks. Princeton University, they were doing these ads. Remember those well-made ads that we heard about a moment ago? They were done by Princeton University, and the idea was, would you vote for a person if you only seen their face for one full second? It turns out their number one hero of this program, their brainchild that made it all the way, was none other than Tim Michaels. How interesting is that? Tim Michaels made it all the way through thanks to this Princeton campaign. A little strange, if you ask me, especially considering the man's a tunnel builder. He has a number of construction companies that do underground tunnels and building and things like that, as well as being a lot of business he's done in Canada. I wonder if he's registered as a foreign agent. You know, if you do work in another country, you have to register as a foreign agent, right? It does make us wonder if Mr. Michaels has registered as a foreign agent. But Mr. Michaels won the primary last night. Congratulations to him. That was very, very interesting. If you would like to follow what Mr. Michaels did in all the election results, we'll get to how to do that here in just a little while. But this went back to 2004 once again with everything with Timothy Michaels winning his spot. What bothers me is his connections in here with the Barack Obama, with the Clintons, with the Cheneys. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about those three names in particular, but I do know that in my past, I've never seen good things come from these individuals. I remember Barack Obama's term as president. This country was not in good shape in that time. And if you don't realize how bad a shape it was in, then after Trump came into office, we've seen a whole different America. So we know intentionally that it was kept the way it was. We even see Obama Jr. in the White House now, but this is interesting that we have a guy that's been backed by Trump. But folks, he's deep state. Now, we tried to put this information out, at least in my opinion. We tried to put this information out, but we found it the day before the primary elections. Unfortunately, we weren't able to let the people know all this information. That's why it's late breaking and breaking for the first time right here on the DarkWolf's Den Show, right here on the ripinrabbithole.com. And we've been doing a lot of research since, and we watched the election the other night because we were curious after finding all of this information, after doing our best to put it out in a very timely manner, which we had very little time to do. After trying our best to do this, we watched the election, and folks, let me tell you, that was a show that I shall not forget watching. And I say a show because I seen things that I shouldn't be seeing. There were abnormalities. Now, maybe you guys can tell me why this would occur. And this is what happened. I have multiple witnesses to last night's events as we're following the numbers on NPR and USA Today. But USA Today is actually innocent in this one. We've seen a certain percentage of the vote had been counted. Well, a couple moments later, that percentage had dropped backwards. Like it hadn't been counted. It had changed in real time. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to happen. I don't know if it's not supposed to happen. What I'm telling you, folks, is we all witnessed it. We witnessed it with our own eyes backstage, a party of us, a group of us. Amongst us, a group that we will get to here shortly, a group of researchers that has turned the backstage into a research lab. And we need everybody's help in what we are researching, but we'll get to that again in the second half, as well as what we're going to do moving forward and how we need to remedy our situations. But again, we'll get to all that. We'll be jumping over and cutting off of YouTube shortly into the second half tonight, probably a little earlier than normal into the second half, as we will go backstage and we will discuss a little bit, and then we will be cutting the feed. And if you want to join us, you will have to join us backstage on the ripinrabbithole.com. But moving forward, we have some issues, folks, because the guy that won the governorship may not be the best choice in this person's opinion. Now, why do I care? Before I go into break, I announced at the beginning of every show that I'm in Tennessee, and I am. So why am I putting my nose into Wisconsin? Well, number one, it's a battleground state, and it's very important that our republic stays a republic. There's been suggestions, yes, in Sunny Day in the chat says, Dems voted Republican. That's a very good point. A possibility that we will, again, we'll touch on that in the second half. Thank you, Sunny Day. I appreciate that over in the chat and YouTube. But the reason that I am so concerned with this is that Ripon, Wisconsin, all of Wisconsin, or wherever you're listening from across the United States, is no different. My little city, your little city, Ripon, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Boise, Idaho, got to say it right, Colorado, Utah, Delaware, Memphis, Florida. Doesn't matter the state, doesn't matter the city, it's important. It's important we watch what's going on with our elections, folks. It's important we have people on the ground. This is why I get concerned, especially with Wisconsin, as we broadcast out of Ripon, Wisconsin, and Ripon Common Sense Radio. But even in Tennessee, the possibility's there that there could be issues at times. Again, last night's issue, I watched a time travel. Perhaps that's supposed to happen. If somebody has any explanation to why this is supposed to happen, I would love to know. Please send it to ripinrabbithole@gmail.com. And AJ will get it to me at his soonest convenience. But we need to all be concerned. We need to all be involved, and this is why. The primaries were very, very important. And it looks like now we are finding that we may have been duped by a candidate that's supposed to be America first. But when you start looking into his beliefs, when you start looking into what he says he stands for, it makes me question his America first stance. And as a matter of fact, there's a PDF available if you would like it. Again, email us rippandrabbithole@gmail.com, and we can get that PDF out to you. This is where a lot of my information here is coming from this evening, this very same PDF. And in this PDF, there are commercials that are in YouTube, so I shouldn't have any problem playing them on YouTube, for Timothy Michaels. And he discusses corporate responsibility. And he discusses the Patriot Act. I'm going to want to play about two of these for you guys, if you don't mind. Give me just a couple moments here, and let me give you an idea what he believes in.
Use roving wiretaps on terrorists. They could only wiretap a specific phone. The Patriot Act gave law enforcement the right to wiretap the terrorist, no matter how many phones they have, making
and anyone else that they would like to wiretap, to be clear.
It easier to defend our country against more attacks.
And think of who they're calling terrorists right now. Keep that in mind. But that's a discussion for another day. I don't want to get far off topic.
One senator voted against this, Russ Feingold.
I'm Tim Michaels, and I approve this ad because, unlike Russ Feingold, I will support renewing the Patriot Act because we need to be able to track and stop terrorists before they strike again.
So this right here sent chills up my spine, because I'm no fan of the Patriot Act. I understand what they thought they were trying to do, what everybody's told they were trying to do, but I'm not a fan of the Patriot Act by any means. And I don't like that this guy, most likely knowing what the Patriot Act is so gung-ho about this. I've got time to play maybe one more clip here before we have to cut to break.
Corporate crooks are loose in America, cooking the books, lying to investors, wiping out stock values, and hurting thousands of employees and investors with their greed.
I'm Tim Michaels, and I approve this ad because my mom and dad started our family-run business with nothing more than their prayers and a dream. Today at Michaels Corporation, we employ nearly 2,000 hardworking people who play by the rules. As your next senator, I'll propose tough corporate responsibility legislation that'll keep corruption.
So we see how well the senators have done in Congress to put tough legislation in to stop the corruption in Washington. We see they once again have wonderfully done a bang-up job of that. So it seems like Mr. Michaels once again did not succeed in his campaign promises at the time, yet here he has won governorship in the primaries. Interestingly, has won governorship in the primaries for the state of Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen. But you guys know that music means we have to go ahead and take a network break right here. So we will be right back after these messages. My name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you're listening to the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show exclusively on Rippin' Common Sense Radio Network, the rippandrabbithole.com, home of the Freedom Flame. We will be right back with the second half of the Darkwolf's Den Show and even more interesting information as we join the backstage chat and discuss even deeper what this really means and what to do going forward. If you want to be a part of it, do make sure you jump on over and join us at rippandrabbithole.com. We'll be right back after these messages, folks. Don't you touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, that howl means your weekend has begun. Hi, everyone. It's AJ, the Rippin' Rabbit. Are you enjoying tonight's Darkwolf Den Radio Show? I know I am. If you are and you haven't done so already, please make sure to hop on over to our website, rippandrabbithole.com. There you can sign up for your exclusive backstage VIP pass. It's going to give you unfiltered access to our community-generated press, where the conversation continues after the show. Now, we have our own social media network there called Down the Rabbit Hole. And when you look at that area of our website, you will find our groups. And just today, we launched a brand new group at Rippin' Rabbit Hole that you can be a part of. It's called Candidate Review Board. It is where we're going to house all of the information and the research that we're doing on individual candidates, not just in Wisconsin, throughout the entire nation. So if you'd like to roll up your sleeves and get involved with our candidate review board, we invite you to subscribe to the group. You will be contacted by our administrators, and if you pass the test, you'll be allowed access to the group. A lot of exciting things taking place there at ripinrabbithole.com, where the conversation continues after the show. Speaking of which, Jerry Hicks will return again tomorrow, Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as yet more howls will continue out of the Darkwolf's Den. And I'll return again Friday with another Freedom Flame Friday. August 12th, we'll continue on with episode 10, Verification, which was postponed due to last week's rally in Wisconsin. But join us for Freedom Flame Friday, this Friday, August 12th at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as all shows start here, for another dive down the rabbit hole of verification. Interesting to note that verification is this week's Freedom Flame Friday. I just find that an interesting coincidence, don't you? We again have a fantastic guest panel prepared for you, from Sandra Scholes to Scott Milheiser to Rob Murphy. It's going to be interesting. Rob Murphy, by the way, runs Facebook Recipes for Freedom of Fond du Lac County. I'm looking forward to speaking with him about Fond du Lac County and what's going on regarding Recipes of Freedom in Ripon. It's going to be a wonderful discussion to ignite the Freedom Flame conversation again this Friday. We'll return back to Jerry Hicks and the Darkwolf's Den, covering last night's Wisconsin primary recap. You're listening to the Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, home of the Freedom Flame, ripinrabbithole.com.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Darkwolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And welcome back to the second half of the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show for Wednesday. Got it right that time. Haha. August the 10th, 2022. That's right, folks. Whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have missed the first half of the show, we had some very interesting late-breaking information, a breaking story right here on the Darkwolf's Den Radio Show on the ripinrabbithole.com. That's right. We have a lot of breaking information coming up as we once again have been discussing the elections last night in Wisconsin, the primary elections last night in Wisconsin. And I mentioned earlier that I seen some very strange percentages that were counted. Then they weren't counted anymore, and it backed up. Literally an hour's worth time jumped backwards, at least according to the number of votes counted. Now, we found that very, very strange, and it prompted us to start digging deeper. As AJ said, there's been a brand new group added to the ripinrabbithole.com. Folks, go over there and check that out. The candidate review board I have joined myself as we will be reviewing candidates in numbers. Very, very number-based thing. As if you would like to look at the numbers, by the way, speaking of numbers, and you're in Wisconsin, if you would like to look at the numbers county by county, and do your own math and just tell me what you think of the outcome of the numbers, then that is available at the link election.wis.gov. Again, www.election.wis.gov. I'll go ahead and drop that link in the chat rooms over here on YouTube now, in the Darkwolf's Den Show, as well as the Ripin Rabbit Hole YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and drop that once again. There's that link. If you are in Wisconsin, if you want to go and grab all the PDFs of the numbers yourself and follow them, that would be great. But folks, we need your help. That's right. We want you to get involved with us. This is a grassroots movement, as the Rippin' Rabbit Hole has always been a grassroots movement. Grassroots media from the ground up. And in this movement, we have to be watchtowers against what is going on around us. At least be very vigilant, right? And one part of being vigilant is reviewing the information given us. Now, the only thing available right now is the unofficial numbers, because it has not been certified by the state. There's unofficially tallied. But we are going to be taking a look at these unofficial numbers backstage and researching them, and this is where we need your help. This is why we need you to join this group, as we will be having a lot of information to go through as quickly as we can. We've got 3 months, folks, until the election, till we need to get out and rock the vote. But say your candidate, you know in your heart of hearts your candidate deserves to be there, but he didn't win the primary. For instance, say it was Timothy Rantham. As we were pushing, and still, if you would like to continue to do that, there are ways that are possible to do that, and we'll discuss those ways backstage here on the rippinrabbithole.com. As a matter of fact, I think what we need to do is go ahead and see who we have backstage at the rippinrabbithole.com, as there is usually a research team back here hanging out. Yes, there is a research team back here hanging out, folks. It's good to see JoJo's, Marie, Flippin' Rob, and it looks like Alan. I think I'm seeing that right. It's a smaller screen over here. I do apologize, my eyes aren't the best, but it's good to see everybody over here tonight. So you guys sat here with me last night, and you witnessed the strange events that we seen last night too. Marie, could you tell us about the time jump that you witnessed last night?
Last night, we viewed quite a number. Well, we viewed a number of different counties or districts, and one of those was District 63, the Adamstein versus Voss ballots coming in. They only had one set of numbers. I believe it was about 9 o'clock. It was in the 700s. And then well over an hour later, all of a sudden there was a huge dump of the ballot counts. The pause was really obvious.
So there was an hour pause in between updates of the information last night. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you witnessed this as well as myself, and I'm sure a number of others here in the room. There was also the vote counting that went backwards, right? They counted a certain percentage of the vote, and then they hadn't counted a certain percentage of the vote. Could you tell us about that, please, ma'am?
Well, we saw on the screen where the percentage of the votes counted actually made a big drop. And later in the night, probably around 11 o'clock, it went back up. So, it's Edison data reporting, which is not the best. But that's all we have, through the mainstream media. And in the state of Wisconsin, there's been a change by WIC, the Wisconsin Elections Commission, where in past election nights, we've been able to view the votes coming into the county. The county would report those, and we could see it in live time. WIC now because they redesigned their website in July. They have now pulled all of the counties onto their website, and none of them, from what we could see last night, were reporting. And it was just today that WIC was actually reporting. And the WIC website clearly states that within 2 hours, all the counties must report results.
So I would agree that is also a lot of strange. They have 2 hours to report, for those that do not know, the results back to the county, right? And then to the state, in 2 hours to the county, and then 2 more hours they have to get it to the state. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we have the 4-hour window where they have to do this or not. So they didn't have a whole lot of time to do what they had to do. And like you said, they had an hour window where there was no voting showing at the time. We've been looking at numbers all day back here, and that's what prompted us to start looking at numbers. Once again, folks, if you're interested, go to the website we dropped in YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, we are going to cut the feed from YouTube. Unfortunately, if you would like to join the conversation, once again, ladies and gentlemen, do come on over to the ripinrabbithole.com, RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. You can join us down the rabbit hole, or in the Backstage 24/7 lounge. I'm sorry. So much fun over there. I get confused on which area I'm in. I mean in the 24/7 Backstage lounges. Once again, we've got a number of people back here. Brock Maddox has joined us back here, as well as Christopher Spivey. Glad to see both you guys. We'll be talking to them over on the radio, so you can continue to listen on the radio, or you can join us backstage, folks. But we will be cutting the YouTube feed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch us on Rippin' Rabbit Hole, folks.